Glad you're here. Really excited for our first guest. He is one of our very own contributors here on The First. He was a part of a viral clip just the other day that has absolutely blown up. But that's not the last you're going to hear of Rob Smith. I'm certain of that. Rob, how are you, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
Really good to talk to you. And your new book is called Always a Soldier. When's it come out on pre-order?
Always a Soldier, Service, Sacrifice, and Coming Out as America's Favorite Black Gay Republican is out for pre-order today. The book will be on bookshelves all across the country in late May.
All right, beautiful. I want to talk all about that too, but let's talk about this moment from last week. Guys, do we have the AOC clip just to set this up a little bit? So this was AOC talking about bootstraps in this hearing.
Ms. Hutchinson, I also want to thank you about bringing up the poverty draft and this idea of a bootstrap. You know, this idea and this metaphor of a bootstrap started off as a joke because it's a physical impossibility to lift yourself up by a bootstrap, by your shoelaces. It's physically impossible. The whole thing is a joke.
I heard that, and I didn't know that you were there, Rob. So what was that hearing? What was the context for what she said?
So the context of the hearing was the Trump administration is making a proposal to recalculate the federal poverty line. And the idea with the left is that, oh, the poverty line is already so low, and if they recalculate it, it'll go lower. And of course, they want that standard to be higher so that they can push more and more socialist policies, so that they can push more and more of a socialist big government agenda. So that was the focus of the hearing that I was at. And obviously, you know, the Republicans are in the minority right now in Congress, so I was the only Republican witness. It was Rep. Meadows and Jordan, I believe. Congressman Meadows and Jordan are on the oversight committee for that hearing. And so basically, when I said my words, I told my story of growing up as a poor kid in Akron, Ohio, joining the military right out of high school to better my life, realizing that big government was not the answer to my problems. I do not believe that big government and more government intervention and these welfare programs are going to lift Americans out of poverty. I think that the things that are going to lift Americans out of the working class and poor and into the middle and upper classes are ideas of American exceptionalism, are ideas like bootstrapping, are ideas like entrepreneurship, which obviously AOC and her big government cronies in Congress are against.
Tell me about your life, Rob. Where'd you grow up, and how poor, if I may?
Yeah. So look, I grew up in Akron, Ohio, very working class, not dirt poor, not projects. I've never pretended to be anything like that. Like I was basically, I lived in the city. I was at the top of the hill. The projects were at the bottom, so it was around. Single mother. My mother was on public assistance right after her and my father got divorced when I was 3 years old. And what I didn't get to say in that hearing is that when my mother tells me about the very short period of time where she was on public assistance, I remember her telling me how much she hated it and how much she couldn't wait to get off of it. And she would always instill these messages in me growing up that, you know what, that is not the answer. Being on welfare is not the answer. You have to do more for yourself. You have to do better for yourself. You have to get an education. And the thing about AOC, as she sits in Congress, as somebody who was working class, as somebody who has achieved the heights of, she's a congresswoman, for God's sake. She is an example of American exceptionalism. But yet, the people that could rise and achieve just like her, she chooses to say that America is beating you down because America is racist, because America is sexist, because America is homophobic, because America is all of these different things. AOC and Ilhan Omar and the squad, all of these people should be doing cartwheels talking about how great America is because they have been allowed to achieve because this is where they are. And it boggles the mind that they say the opposite.
Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching The First on YouTube. If you want more, like, subscribe. We got plenty.